Hey there, fellow economic enthusiasts! What if I told you that the stability of the US economy could be at risk? What if I told you that we are now in a severe recession? Could such a scenario disrupt the delicate balance that sustains the American economy? Today, we're diving into the world of economic downturns. So get ready to buckle up, because we've got an interesting quote from the American economist and financial commentator, Peter Schiff. According to him, we should all hold on to our hats because he believes we're already in a depression. And brace yourselves, folks, because it's about to get even worse.
We'd be very lucky to escape with just a recession. I think this is a depression. We're probably already in it. It's just going to get worse.
But hey, let's take a moment to understand what this depression talk is all about. In simple terms, a depression is like the ultimate boss battle of an economic downturn. It's when things go from bad to downright challenging for our economy. We're talking major declines in economic activity, sky-high unemployment rates, and a general feeling of, oh no, what just happened? Now, while Peter Schiff might sound like the harbinger of doom and gloom, it's important to remember that economists have different viewpoints on these matters. Some folks prefer the term severe recession instead of the dreaded D word to keep things less intimidating. But hey, to each their own, right? So, whether you lean towards the we're in a depression camp or not, what's important to remember is the fact that we are in that situation already and we're about to get hit. So what is the real threat here, you ask? Well, folks, according to Schiff,
but the real threat you mentioned is going to be the foreigners pulling the rug out from under the economy by abandoning the dollar, because that's what makes this dysfunctional economy that we have possible. We have $1 trillion a year trade deficit. That means we import $1 trillion a year worth of stuff that we didn't make. And the only reason we could do it is because foreigners will take the paper that we print for all the stuff that they produce. But if they don't want to do that anymore, then how is our economy going to function without all this stuff? Because we certainly don't have the factories to produce it.
Imagine Peter Schiff stepping onto the economic stage, microphone in hand, ready to share his thoughts. According to Schiff, one of the major threats to the economy lies in foreigners abandoning the US dollar. But why does this matter? Let's break it down in simpler terms and uncover the intriguing dynamics at play. To understand Schiff's concerns, we'd first need to grasp the concept of a trade deficit. Simply put, it's when a country imports more goods and services than it exports. It's like a shopaholic country that just can't resist buying more than it sells. In the case of the United States, it's said to have a trade deficit of around $1 trillion annually. That means the country buys about $1 trillion worth of goods and services that it didn't produce domestically. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The US dollar plays a vital role in sustaining this trade deficit. How? Well, when foreign countries sell goods and services to the United States, they receive payment in dollars. These dollars, in turn, can be used to purchase goods and services within the United States or can be saved as reserves. According to Schiff, the concern arises when foreigners, holding a substantial amount of US dollars, decide to shift away from the dollar as a reserve currency. If this were to happen, it could potentially disrupt the delicate balance that sustains the US economy's functioning. Schiff argues that the US economy depends heavily on foreign countries' willingness to accept US dollars in exchange for the goods and services they produce. It's like a delicate dance where the United States imports products, paying with dollars, and in return, the foreign countries hold these dollars as assets or use them to buy US investments or goods. So, why would foreigners suddenly abandon the dollar? Schiff suggests that it could occur if they lose confidence in the US economy or if they find other reserve currencies, such as the euro or yuan, more appealing. This scenario would pose a challenge for the United States since it relies on foreigners to accept its currency as a means of trade. If Schiff's prediction comes true and the demand for the US dollar diminishes significantly, it could have significant implications for the US economy. For instance, if foreign countries reduce their holdings of US dollars, it may become harder for the United States to finance its trade deficit. This could result in higher borrowing costs and potential economic instability. Schiff raises another intriguing point regarding the United States' ability to produce the goods it currently imports. He questions whether the country possesses the necessary manufacturing capabilities to fill the gap left by reduced imports. If foreign countries stop accepting US dollars for their goods, it could hinder the availability of those products within the country. Feels like American might need to start hoarding those rare Pokemon cards to trade for their favorite imported goodies. To better understand these concepts, let's consider a hypothetical scenario. Imagine a small town called Dollarsville. In this town, the residents rely heavily on imported goods, from smartphones to clothing. They pay for these goods with Dollarsville dollars. Now, let's say the foreign suppliers decide they no longer want to accept Dollarsville dollars as payment. They start demanding a different currency or refuse to trade altogether. Suddenly, the residents of Dollarsville find themselves unable to import the goods they were accustomed to. Without access to foreign goods, Dollarsville faces a challenge. The local economy lacks the manufacturing capabilities to produce those goods domestically. There are no factories to make smartphones or clothing. The town becomes reliant on what it can produce locally, which might not be enough to meet the demands and preferences of its residents. This hypothetical situation mirrors Schiff's concerns about the United States on a larger scale. If foreign countries lose interest in accepting the US dollar, the American economy could face difficulties in maintaining the import levels it has grown accustomed to. Without the necessary manufacturing infrastructure, it might struggle to fill the void left by reduced imports. However, it's important to note that Schiff's perspective is not without its critics. Some economists and people alike argue that the United States has the capacity to adapt and develop domestic industries if faced with a significant shift in trade dynamics. They believe that market forces and innovation can drive the necessary changes, ensuring the economy remains resilient. These optimists believe in the power of market forces and innovation to save the day. Cue the superhero music. Furthermore, the global economy is interconnected and interdependent. Many countries rely on the US as a major consumer market, and the United States benefits from the investments and goods provided by other nations. While a sudden shift away from the dollar could disrupt the current balance, it is also in the interest of foreign countries to maintain stability and avoid drastic actions that could harm their own economies. In the end, Schiff's concerns about the potential consequences of foreigners abandoning the US dollar provide food for thought. They highlight the intricate web of global trade and the role of the dollar as a reserve currency. While the exact future remains uncertain, understanding these dynamics helps us appreciate the complexity of the global economic landscape. So, as we reflect on Schiff's perspective, let's remember to approach it with a pinch of humor and an open mind. The world of economics can be full of differing opinions, and lively debates are what keep us engaged and seeking deeper understanding. As we navigate the twists and turns of the global economy, let's keep our sense of humor intact and continue to explore the fascinating realm of finance. What do you think about this topic? Let me know in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Finance Zoom channel. I'll see you in the next video.